This is Unpivot, the show for Excel fans and Power BI fans and anyone who loves chatting about data. I'm Wyn Hopkins.
I'm Giles Male.
I'm Sue Bays.
Is that four? The
There's
acting was on four.
Three of us. There's
only three of are we something?
Mark's late. Mark's late.
Yes.
Mark's late.
Yes.
He is like the prefect, isn't he? So we take extra delight when he messes up.
Just cheered me right up. Oh,
I know.
Oh,
I was sat giggling as the music was coming in.
Shall we add him? Shall we add? Here he is.
Oh, is he here?
What?
Tardy Mark.
Slacker. Absolute slacker.
We're recording. 7:01.
Ready?
Yeah, it's 1 minute past.
What?
1 minute.
That's
I'm
what he
ready.
did to me when he called me tardy. I was
1 minute? Well, okay.
Yeah.
7:02 now.
Bottom of the list,
Tardy.
back of the pile.
Fair enough. I'll take it.
Cheered me up because I was sort of getting a bit of a grumpy mood to start with. So
He was.
that's
He was
lovely.
moaning.
I was moaning.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh,
I'm back.
hang on.
And
I'm in
hold on.
second. That means if you ever go away, does that mean I'm hosting?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Good. Giles in charge.
Why would we let that happen?
Do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah.
Fortunately, we had Rick.
Oh,
DJ
you were
Rick.
Rick rolled. Good pod while I was away, by the way. Ken covered for me
great.
in a
I love Ken.
highly good way. And what did a little note I made? I enjoyed the Ken jingle. Really nice, Mark. Good
I think
work
Ken
on
enjoyed the
jingle.
Ken jingle.
Yeah, I think if I had to be a little bit critical, I'd say maybe too much bear talk. But
Actually, you say that, but someone in the comments said, a couple of people in the comments have said they particularly enjoyed it.
What do I
And
do?
other people have reached out to me from Canada and said, listen to what Ken said, Sue. He's serious, and it's true.
Yeah, okay, so be careful.
Yeah.
Can't play fast and loose with health and safety.
No.
Who needs that bear talk?
No.
I was in Wales. Nice 32-hour door-to-door trip. Finished off with a beautiful 5-hour National Express coach journey from Heathrow to Swansea. But it was fun. Yeah, sunny. When it was sunny, Wales is beautiful when it's sunny. So nice.
It's like Devon and Cornwall, just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
But that was 2 days of the 2 weeks.
We've had quite good weather.
Yeah, it was all right, actually. Shouldn't grumble. How's everybody doing? What's been happening? What's up?
Shall I go first?
Yeah, go, Sue.
I did an ultra on Saturday, and it was my longest ever run, 37.5 miles.
Wow. Are there different length ultras then?
This one's cool. Yeah, there are. This one is a backyard challenge, and you do 4.2 miles every hour, and you have to be ready in the starting line to go on the hour every hour. So the furthest I've done before on that is 7, but I did 9 laps. And it sounds quite doable, but actually you get really tired. And so if I'm going to do it next year, then I need it's 3 years.
Sounds quite doable.
Yeah, I need a crew, so that help me, feed me, and change my socks and things.
That's what I need, but not for ultras, just for life. I need someone to feed me and change my socks. Where do I find that?
Running. My friend James had crew, and it helped. So it was really good fun.
Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
I've got news.
Yeah, what's your news, Giles?
I'm mentally broken here today because I've just competed in the live XL World Championship battle on YouTube.
How did you do?
I did okay. I didn't win, but I was third, and I did reasonably well. I got like 600 and something points. Most people, the top scores were about 700-800. A couple of anomalies from the crazy people like Dim. It was a very, very hard case, and I went the manual route and started typing in numbers to see if my points went up because I couldn't think of anything else to do to solve the logic.
To just randomly guessed.
Yeah, so one of the hard levels, the answers were generally just 1 digit. So I was just typing in like 0, no, 1, no, 2, no, 3.
Oh no!
That's the only way I could get points.
Jeez. I did sign up and start watching the broadcast, and then it just started half an hour in. Then I go and pick my daughter up from school. So I then missed the whole rules, and then I joined back about half an hour later, and I had no idea what was going on.
Well, I mean, I was doing it, and I had no idea what was going on.
It's not getting any easier then.
That was a particularly hard case. It's a weird one because actually, I mean, this is what I've just learned, even though I've seen it with other players. The pressure of knowing you're being watched by everyone is mad. So I in the first 10 minutes, I could not read words. It could have been written in Chinese. And it made no difference. I was just looking at it going, I don't understand. And then I was panicking, thinking, oh God, I'm looking really stupid. I haven't got enough points on the board. And then you spiral in your head. And in the end, after about 10 minutes, I was like, right, take your time, take a deep breath, read some of the questions, see what you can do. And I didn't embarrass myself, which was my main aim for my first year competing. I mean, no more than I normally embarrass myself. So that was it. That was good.
It was the first time I've ever watched any of those things. And I watched it on the replay afterwards. So I didn't watch it at normal pace. But equally, there was a moment where Eric and the other person who was commentating said, let's go and see Giles' screen. And literally, you could see you had the instructions on your screen and you were moving your mouse over the words. Like a child reads words by putting their finger underneath. You're doing that with your mouth, with your mouse across words. I'm like, yeah, I might struggle with those instructions too.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get to the point where, like, let's just try and digest each word. Is okay. The type on the right is a 1. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, got that. I just couldn't do it.
There is something, isn't it? It's about when you do live demos and it's like completely live. And someone asks you a question or something doesn't quite go. And normally if you were sat at home or sat in your office, wherever, you would sit and you go, oh, and you take a moment to think about it and then you would go. But when it's live, it's a different ball game altogether.
Well, the added pressure is that they've created this amazing esports platform. So the team behind the World Championship have built this from scratch out in Latvia, and it is unreal. And you can download cases. I mean, I'll give them a sales pitch because you can go on there for free. I wish I had the website address in my head. And you can see the other scores. So I could see the other 3 live competitors' scores, which made it even worse because 5-10 minutes in, I was on about 30 points and I was seeing people go like 200, 300, 400. I was like, oh God, this is bad. But I managed to just recover it a bit in the last 5-10 minutes, which is all right.
Do you think it's helpful to do that? Would you do that again?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I want to do it again. It's a passion.
No. But see people's scores. Can you stop it so that you don't see their scores and just focus on your own thing?
Not really, because where you have to put the answers in on the platform, you can kind of see the leaderboard between the 4 of you. So there's just so much that I think I will take away from that experience and hopefully get better with my next live experiences. But yeah, I'm very committed to it. It's great.
It's all these things, aren't they? It's like, going back to my ultra or live demos or whatever you do, it's all learning experiences, and you go so far and you challenge yourself. And then the big thing is to think back and be honest with yourself and say, okay, what did I do well? What do I need to improve on? What do I need to practice? And where, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, my yoga head, it's all part of the journey, Giles.
It's part of the journey, but I have no idea what we're talking about. I've rocked up. My brain's fried. I'm here for the giggles. What are we talking about?
Stress.
Any different from most weeks?
Yeah, obviously. Happy to be here.
Oh, happy here.
Good commitment. Well done.
Thank you.
Mark, anything?
I'm also happy to be here, even though I was 1 minute late. I'm very excited to be here. I've been on holiday, so
lovely.
I think we finished the last podcast. I edited it, sent it to Wyn, went on holiday the next day, and then back to work on 2 days ago. So yeah, I've not been up to much whatsoever. So
Cool.
yeah, I've had a good couple of weeks.
How was your holiday?
It was very nice, and we were in Rhodes.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
Which was
Good.
And it was one of those places where it was one of those places where you start eating, right, and you just eat loads. Oh yeah, I can eat, and after about 3 days, you're like, I cannot eat another single thing. If I see any more food, I'm done. And then by the end of the holiday, you're like, I just want a small breakfast, something small, because I've been full for eight days, constantly. It's like I can barely move.
I've got a good Mark story. Mark, am I allowed to share the story about you and Ken about what I suggested? I mean, seeing as it's definitely not going ahead, I now just think it's a funny story.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't embarrass me, so that's fine.
So Miles actually had a brainwave. Do you remember the E17 Christmas tune?
Oh yeah.
Stay now, baby, you got to go away. That one. And they're all in white fur coats. And Miles was like, oh, when you go to Bulgaria, you should see if you can get some of the MVPs to like do a spoof sing along. And I was like, that is genius. And I thought, who shall I ask first? Mark and Ken. And I got no reply for about 3 days. And then one by one, they came back and just went, thank you for the invite. That's not what I want to do. Mark's response was like, there's a difference between good views and bad views, and that feels like bad views. Okay, we won't do it then.
My response was like, I mean, it's like, when there's a car accident and everyone just like slows down to rubberneck to see what's happening to this car accident. I said, like, that's not good views. They're not the kind of views that you want. If we were to do this, it would be people gawking at a horrific thing that they just can't take their eyes off. So I will politely decline, Giles. The thing is that if you take those fur coats, if you were to get a couple of people involved, suddenly you'd create a snowball of other people wanting to be involved. So I think it may be even worth taking them anyway, because it could still happen.
Coming. I mean, I've got 6 fur coats now. I had enough to fill the whole of us as E17. So, but, so for anyone listening, if you're in Bulgaria, Mark and Ken have politely declined. I would still be up for doing a spoof E17 Christmas video. Excel Geeks E17.
Very good.
I want to be Brian, though. I'm Brian.
You know too much about E17, I tell you.
Well,
I was thinking that. I was thinking, which one was Brian?
Ken actually responded and was like, I've never heard this song before in my life. So I think it was like a UK only, like it was only popular in the UK. So you're going to go to Bulgaria, you're like, do you want to be in this video about this song? All these people were like, I've never heard it.
Don't remember the video.
No.
I remember the video. Wasn't it, or was it the Spice Girls that did something with fur coats? I don't remember.
Oh,
probably.
A lot of fur coats back in the day.
Can't have enough fur coats.
Right, can I start moaning about Copilot yet?
You did very well. 14 minutes in. I'm super impressed it's taken this long.
I'm glad Mark took some time out of his holiday to moan about it on LinkedIn as well. Or maybe you were back in work.
It's not moaning. It's redirection. Correct. Redirection and correction.
So in StreamYard, the package we're using for recording this, I noticed they just added some sound effects. So I'm just going to click on one of the sound effects of sort of my sort of reaction to people's posts about Copilot, where they were saying the equals Copilot function just is a game changer, and you don't need to learn half the Excel formulas to replace all this. Another person said, Microsoft have just eaten their lunch with Power BI now that you've got the equals Copilot function in Excel. Okay, so this, you just have a quick listen. Oh, is it playing? That's a real disappointment.
I got a heartbeat.
You might have to put that in post-production.
Yeah, I'll have to pad that afterwards. Cut. Right. So
can we guess what the sound effect could be?
It was a heartbeat.
No, but what sound effect did Wyn want? My guess is it's like a whack, 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 wow.
Nah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, no, that was a sort of, sorry, Sue, go on.
I was going to say a drum roll.
Oh,
It's definitely not a drum roll for Copilot. I think it's the opposite of a drum roll. Yeah, boo.
So I have got a few effects, one of which is booing. That was the heartbeat, which is my heart just going mad because I was getting cross.
Oh, getting faster and faster.
Yeah, we did
It was my stress heartbeat thing, but I couldn't even hear that myself. So, and I won't be able to add it in post either. So sorry for the podcast listeners. It was a heartbeat. Yeah. So what was the issue, right? So it was basically just people going all this stuff about how it's completely transforming the whole world. And I think, and Mark, I think, called this out. I don't think most people had actually even tried the function who were posting about it. So it's just jumping on the whole bandwagon of it. Just, I don't know, just really riled me up for no good reason. So I had to just step away for a while.
Thoroughly enjoy. I feel like this is what you all enjoy when I get triggered on LinkedIn all the time, because I've been going on. I'm like, oh, Wyn's commented. Oh, it's a Copilot post. Straight to the comments. That brilliant. He's triggered.
Yeah. Don't know why it set me off so much. I really don't. But it was.
It's because you've spent your whole career teaching people how to use Excel and to use Excel properly, and to empower them and to lead them, all three of you, to lead them to have, to help with their careers and their life and have control. And then they throw this one thing in and it's, well, you don't need any of that. It's complete.
But for me, it was the number of posts, and just like when it had all these things about, you don't need to use these functions anymore. You literally go to the Microsoft documentation and it says you shouldn't use Copilot for these things, and it lists like 10 things that you shouldn't use it for. And then these posts have been like, you can use Copilot for all these things. You're like, well, actually, you can't. So it was pure hype by, I think, people who had never used it, hadn't read any of the documentation about what you can and can't use it for, and therefore it was just misleading.
There's a word that comes to mind, but I can't say it because it starts with D.
Yeah. For folks who sort of haven't heard about it, it is a function equals Copilot. It's in the beta channel. You need a Copilot license. Thank you, Sue, for prompting me to go. Do you have to pay? Yeah, you still need the Microsoft 365 Copilot license as well, which is $30 a month for it to work. And you can do equals, type in a prompt, and then say something like, give me a summary of, I did a YouTube video, listed a bunch of sort of movies and give me the main actor. And you list all the movies, highlight them, and the one formula then spills and gives you all the answers. But you can't use it for a sum because it's just going off to an LLM. It's not using any Excel calculations. It's not running an XLOOKUP or a sum under the hood. It's literally like you copy and pasting it into ChatGPT and copy pasting it back. It's just a shortcut for that. But I don't really get the use case in the real world other than the gimmickiness of it.
I got one.
Oh yeah.
So I had Chris Barber. So I had wonderful, amazing Chris Barber on my meetup on Tuesday, and he was talking about financial modeling in Power BI. And basically he obviously mentioned about Excel, etc. But we were talking a little bit about Copilot at the end, and he said what it could be useful for is to give it the figures and ask it to give you insights about the figures. So he said, so as if you were sat in a boardroom or you were sat with a group of people and you were brainstorming, just what is this showing, just being more creative about, how could we manage this, or how could, but like the qualitative bit rather than the numbers bit, but actually thinking about conceptually what ideas could we do to solve this or something like that. So it was more ideas based rather than numeric.
My problem with that is that I would use Copilot chat to do that. Like copy paste your numbers. I don't know if you can do that with Copilot, but ChatGPT again. Yeah. You would just take your whole thing and just paste it into the chat and then have a conversation in the chat. Ask follow-up questions, ask this and that. Whereas with the equals Copilot, you then have to go into the cell or something, rewrite the prompt a little bit. You can't ask a follow-up question. You just have to rewrite your prompt. So it's worse than Copilot,
Totally.
which is saying something.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, you almost always have to go back and go, no, that's not quite right. I meant this, do this. Yeah.
It's very iterative, isn't it? I find that with all of them, I'm back and forth the whole time.
Can I add a use case?
Yeah.
That could be a real life use case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now admit that the caveat to this, which I'll mention at the end, means that actually you could use anything else, but Copilot would be easy for this. Let's say you had a list of suppliers and you had to categorize them by the product types and stuff like that. You would be able, because you would be able to create categories that would then categorize those suppliers. Now those categories might not be right. Okay, so it could easily categorize various things. You would then have to copy and paste those results back over themselves and then check them. But that would save you having to go, hey, I want this list of whatever it is, paste it into ChatGPT, get that back out, and then paste it back into Excel. So I think there is a use case around, here's my result. Now I need to copy and paste that as values, and then I can check the results to make sure they're valid. So that's one use case. Another use case is if you wanted to verify that what you've done, you've got your formulas or whatever you've done, and you want to verify as to, is that reasonable? You could use Copilot to say, based on whatever you're going to do, come up with your result, and you would then compare that to your actual result. Now, it may be far off. If it's close, it may be a false positive, but equally, you could use like, hey, I've calculated this thing this way. Copilot has calculated it however it does, and we've got a very similar result. Therefore, that gives me a level of assurance that what I've done is reasonable. It's not a guaranteed assurance, but equally, it's an extra check that you could perform. So I think there are some use cases there. I know that I heard someone talk about often in finance you have commentary about your numbers. It's really good at writing commentary about your numbers, and I thought you do, but does it even really have the context? If stock's high, why is stock high compared with last month? Copilot might come up with an answer. If it hasn't got enough context, that answer will be meaningless, and it might just be because Dave in logistics was on holiday for the last 3 days of the month, therefore nothing was distributed. And it's not going to know any of that. So I suppose it can kind of give you a structured sentence. So I think maybe the context is missing there, but there is an element being able to generate that kind of stuff, but it won't really give you any additional insight than what's already in the numbers.
But this is what annoys me with, again, it's just the LinkedIn hype train, isn't it? It's like if it was just the general message was, hey, this is a new feature, it could be quite useful. It's in like the first phase of what it will probably end up being. Let's all go away and play with it. It'd be great. But it's a bit like the AI tools with modeling, and suddenly it was like a copy paste job from everyone going, oh, you'll never need to use Excel again. Perfect financial models can be built in 3 seconds, which was the one that triggered me. And it was like, no, they can't, you idiots. It's the same with Copilot. Stop being annoying LinkedIn people.
It's important to flag that Microsoft aren't sort of selling this as like the panacea to everything. It's just the uninformed folks on,
But I think it is though. It goes to context, doesn't it? All the time. All of these models, they're only as good as the context, the data, the information that you give it, the questions that you ask, how it's phrased. They can only, they can't read your mind. You have to help them to give you the correct answer, which is why it's an iterative process. And I always say that to people about Excel. I said Excel will do whatever you tell it to do, but it won't tell you whether what you're doing is correct or not for what you're expecting it to do. It does what you say.
I did run a poll on LinkedIn, which I think is probably still open, about just to find out how many people actually have Copilot in Excel. So what percentage of people have actually even got these Copilot features? I'm not even talking about the function itself that will roll out to those relevant people, but how many people even have the license? And it came out because I mean, you're not going to get this number from Microsoft. They're going to keep that closely guarded, I imagine. But it came out about 1/3 of people have Copilot in their version of Excel. So effectively, if you're a consultant or anything like that, you're never going to be able to use this Copilot function and to guarantee that anyone else has it, because you don't know whether someone else has it. But also, even if somebody else does have it, because there's limits on was it 100 functions per 10 minutes or 300 per hour? I think that's the combination. How do you know if you send your workbook to somebody, how do you know that person hasn't already used their 100 Copilot? Their 100 Copilot things, even if they got a license, they've used their 100 Copilot things. You send them your workbook, they open up, refresh it. It's like, oh, my number, it doesn't work. So it's because you've got this limit, it means that it's really difficult to send it to anybody, because you can't guarantee that they haven't used all of their credits already and aren't just sat there waiting for 10 minutes going, well, or an hour, depending on how many they've used. So that's a real challenge where you've got these kind of levels and limits that you've got to think about who's using it. If it's just for you, that's fine. You can control that. You can write formulas in the right way, but who you're sending it to, you don't know.
Especially when you've got things like Sue, your buddy Brian Julius is brilliant. He's so good, and like he's a great example for me of like a good LinkedIn person. Like everything he shares is just so valuable, and he's just sharing all of his knowledge. He's got me into the world of using Claude and MCPs, and it's when you see what you can do with that stuff. Again, I just struggle with I understand some of what you said, Mark, but I'm defaulting to Claude now for so many things.
Are you? I haven't tried it yet.
It's amazing. It is genuinely not full 3-statement models, but it's building me good models. I'm hardly ever hitting a limit on my usage. I'm paying $20 a month or something. Like, it is really, really good.
So are you using it instead of ChatGPT now?
Yeah, more and more. It seems to be more reliable in some areas, but the MCP side, so I've got it connected up to various things like my calendar and other bits. Brian talked about one connector. I've forgotten the name. It's a weird name, but it gives you access to essentially made up data sets, or I don't know if it's making them up or something. I've used it for training 2 or 3 times already. Like really good big data sets, and easy prompts in Claude, and because you've got these connectors through all the MCP setup, it just does things really nice.
It's not Kaggle or something like that, is it? Kaggle?
No, it's an odd name. I'll have to look it up. But I'm a huge fan of Claude now. I also don't understand how all of these third-party tools that just lean on Claude and Gemini or whatever, I don't understand how they are getting multi-million-dollar investment when surely these LLMs are just going to get better and better, and you're just not going to need the third-party tool. But what do I know?
I've used Gemini within Colab, which is Google's Python notebooks. It's brilliant.
Okay.
Really
Nice.
good.
Very cool.
While we're on the topic of AIs, can I just share 2 pieces of kind of research or articles that I found? So one of which was shared on we've got an Excel MVP WhatsApp group, one of which Rick DeGroot shared, and the other one I found another one. So the UK government did a trial on using Microsoft 365. So they ran it for about 6 months or so, and an average user said that by using M365, they estimated that they saved 26 minutes per day.
Ooh.
So that's the time saving. I can send Wyn the link so people can read through the full articles. But then there was another one, and this is the interesting one. So I think it's Meta Research. This is the one that Rick DeGroot sent through. So they did this study where they looked at developers. So this is a higher level audience, and about adoption of AI. So the forecasts are based on the experts. They said that these developers should be able to save 40% of their time by using AI. After they'd finished, so I think they did a sample of, here's some people doing a programming task with AI. Here's a sample of people doing the program task without AI. So that was the comparison. So after the people had finished this task or tasks, the estimate was the people who had used AI thought that they were 20% faster than the people who hadn't used AI. Okay, so they felt as if they'd done all this stuff much faster than they had. Actually, they were 26% slower.
Okay.
So there's the element of, you've got this kind of UK government thing saying people felt that they were, so 26 minutes a day is about 7%. They felt they were 7% faster. But is that just an illusion? Because people feel as if they're making progress because they're creating junk fast. And if you create junk fast, you go, hey, I'm making so much progress here. So it was just interesting that in that article, these were developers, so they were specialist people. When I think the UK government one was more of it was a general audience, so therefore, you can't really compare the two entirely. It was interesting that the use of AI, people thought that they were 20% faster, and actually they were 26% slower. So it's just and I'll send links, Wyn, both those links to put in the show notes if people are interested.
You think it's just spending?
That is really interesting.
Do you think you're spending a bunch of time just sort of re-prompting?
Yeah.
By the time you actually get the answer, if you'd have really just stepped back and thought about it, you probably got there quicker. Maybe
because I think there's a piece around there's kind of two. I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast before. There's almost two kinds of use of AI. There's kind of the free use, not free as in paid, but as in people just prompting and providing various things. Then there's kind of AI which has been around for traditional AI of how people scan invoices and all of that traditional piece of AI. And I think it's the traditional piece of AI. I think is continuing to provide benefit because it's kind of like, here's AI, it's put on some rails, and here you get a fixed set of responses or a known set of responses. Therefore, it's doing something very specific, and people are training it to do specific things. But when it's just a generic answer, ask questions, and it's re-prompting over and over again, that's, I can see one definitely should definitely provide benefit. The other one, it appears, may not be providing as much benefit as we think.
Yeah.
I think it's being wary, isn't it? Being aware of how it works, using the guardrails back and forth. I think you do need to understand. I think if you don't embrace it, you're going to be left behind. But it's like Giles with Claude, it's also finding time. And we find so many people use Excel and haven't touched Power Query, which to me is nuts. It should be taught at school.
I tell you what sort of leapt into my mind the other day was that the term vibe coding is the equivalent of the macro recorder, because people will be able to build brilliant stuff for themselves that will be an absolute something mess that they hand over to the next person who takes over their job. But this idea that people can just vibe code these applications is the macro recorder, right? You could just do stuff. I'll automate all my month end and just hard code every single reference, and you do no best practice. That when you leave and somebody else just changes one cell or inserts a column, the entire thing buggers up. And that's what I see happening with vibe coding, is that there'll be experts, there'll be people who become brilliant at VBA or vibe coding from doing that. And then there'll be the majority that'll just produce dangerous trash. It feels a little bit like that, I think, for a comparison.
Yeah, the only thing is, ironically, I think the AI tools, the LLMs, are actually brilliant at, you could take macro recorded VBA, plug it into Claude and go make that better, and it would do a really good job.
Yeah,
true. But there's so much content out there about VBA that it's got a huge repertoire to call on. Yep. Whereas all these different sort of individual vibe coding platforms that are brand new, or not necessarily brand new, but how to set them up, etc. The whole admin piece and anything else just gets thrown out the window, I think. So it's I
think it goes back to that interactive conversation, and you can only have that if you have a level of knowledge to be able to question and to channel and to move it forward and help it. You're working together and you're helping it. It's helping you because it's it has knowledge that it can call on, and it's quicker than us in many different ways. But we have that context, and you can only have that context if you've got background and you understand. You can't have a helpful conversation with two people if they don't, or two things, if they don't, if they don't have an intellectual capacity to improve each other.
But according to that second study, because so you mentioned a few minutes ago, well, if you don't embrace it, you get left behind. Well, it may actually be that if you don't embrace it, you may be faster.
For now.
For now.
And
you may be faster for certain things for now.
I think that the key thing is that it's an expert set of people who are doing tasks that they know how to do, or that they already know how to code, right? So therefore AI gets in the way. So for the stuff we already know how to do, it gets in the way. So for the stuff you don't know how to do, it probably gives you a benefit. But how do people transition from, because you've got people who don't know what they're doing and they're apparently saving time, but how do any of those people ever become an expert at anything so that they don't rely on the AI anymore? And it's almost like you can't, because you've got this crutch the whole time that you don't actually learn anything. So you always end up in a state of being faster than you would have been, but not as fast as somebody who actually knows what they're doing.
But I mean, when I'm using Claude for lambdas and VBA, which I'm doing a lot at the moment for the World Championship, I'm prompting it to teach me as well. So I'll say, I'm trying to do this. It builds me the code, and then I'll be like, right, break that down. Like, what is every step actually doing? So again, I think if you get in the mindset with the tool that it's not just give me the answer, you can actually use it as all right, now teach me what you've done, and put it in a cheat sheet, make it visual.
Well, I do exactly the same for T-SQL. So within Fabric, you can land everything into a lakehouse, then you can put it into a warehouse. And once you've got it in a warehouse, you can use SQL or T-SQL. And I understand SQL. I can write basic SQL, but I'm not an expert in SQL. So I do exactly the same as you, Giles. And I'll say, I want to be able to do this. And I almost give it the pseudocode. And then it will come back. And I'm like, yep. Why are you doing it that way? And so I'm understanding, and I'm learning as I'm doing it. So again, it is that, to sort of reiterate, it is that learning and having a two-way conversation.
I would strongly recommend Brian Julius's posts, because partly because a few of us were asking him in his comments. He is doing videos now that are like, all right, if you know nothing, here's how you get started. Here's what you do. Here's how you sign up to Claude. Here's how you start using the connectors. It's really good.
He's got a web page as well.
Oh, great.
His own website.
Highly recommend following him and looking at his videos.
Oh, he's such a nice man. He's one of the nicest.
Yeah, he's great. What are we talking about today? We're doing really well. It's nearly 40 minutes in. Is there a topic?
I'm voting for, just because we've got to chat again next week, I'm going to say we bail on question of the week, because I got loads more.
But what's question of the
controversial
week?
I'm not going to say
controversial.
Do it.
But maybe we do it next week. We might get there. I don't think so. So I'm going to go back to Copilot. I'm actually going to give it a thumbs up for equals Copilot for one thing. You don't have to have autosave on. Well done, Microsoft. So to use the equals Copilot function, you don't have to have your file saved to OneDrive with autosave on or SharePoint. Whereas with Copilot chat, I think this is still the case, you have to have autosave on, which I can't live with.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Not controversial? Agree, disagree?
Don't a little bit. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but a little bit.
Fair enough.
I've got so used to the autosave thing that it's now, you just appreciate that everything's going to be autosaved. So because in the old days, right, it was a problem, because you would open up a workbook, kind of, you didn't want to save your changes, you just wanted to tinker around or look at something. It wouldn't save anything. And then when autosave came out, it's then like, you change one cell and suddenly it's broken whole stuff. So it's kind of like, if you now want to just delve into and have a look at what's in that workbook, you've then got to copy and paste it to somewhere else before you then open it, and then it'll. So yeah, I've got used to the autosave.
You got used to it? Oh, okay. Maybe I need to.
I find it frustrating at times because I don't want it all the time.
And sort of the Copilot feature as well is the equivalent of the Power BI Q&A feature, where you just type in a natural language question, and they're adding a bit more of that type of thing. But it's I heard somebody once refer to it as a Gartner feature, so the Gartner Magic Quadrant, where they rate different tools and BI tools, and there's certain things you just have to deliver as your part of your application, like it has AI in it, and then it sort of gets another point on the ratings. So it's like some of these features are Gartner features because they'll never be used in real life. They're just, Google's got an AI formula, so maybe Excel has to have an AI formula. It's that sort of thing. And lots of, every single tool under the sun has some sort of AI now because you're told you need it. And even the other week, I got somebody saying, "Oh, can AI help make this easier in terms of something I built in Excel?" It's like, or Power BI, sorry. So, nope, it can't. So yeah, there's those sorts of questions. People are going, "Oh, can AI?" People just uninformed going, "I've heard good things about AI. Can AI make this formula and this whole process easier?" Just like, no. So,
in terms of the Copilot function, I don't know what the limit is on how much you can put in a prompt. Because the Q&A feature in Power BI, all your data is already there. It's in your data model, and therefore it can access all of that. So it's got all the information available. But in the Copilot function, you're passing across the ranges and the things you want to know about in your prompt, which means that you are restricted in terms of the amount of. Because I think in a cell, I think you can have 32,767 characters, but whether but I don't know how much you can pass across in a prompt, and whether that then means that, because in Power BI, because you can access all of your data and you can ask your question, in Excel, unless you can pass across all of your data, it's never going to be equivalent to the Power BI feature because it hasn't got as much capacity.
Yeah, it's going to be a token limit or something in there. That's something. So
yeah, there will be a token limit.
And then right. So are we done with Copilot for now?
I think that the question is to you. Are you okay? Do you need to talk about it more?
Are you feeling cleansed?
No. Lost it, really.
We haven't helped.
Yeah, Daniel agreed with you, tablet editor.
Yeah. So no, it was good to get a bit of a rant going.
Please keep going. Please just keep ranting.
Came up with a topic. Sometimes I struggle with topics for videos for YouTube, and it's like, oh, I'm definitely doing a video on this one. So that was a good thing. So
I saw it come up, and I thought, I'm watching this.
Because I watched Wyn's video, and he was just typing in these A's and B's and stuff like that, and I'm like, he's clearly waiting for. He keeps typing in these letters, waiting for something bad to happen, but it kept not being bad. It was like, that works. Putting a beat, that works. That works. That works. And like 20 times later, like, there we go. Finally, I've got one that's wrong.
And
I told you it wouldn't work.
Before I clicked record, it happened every third click. Every third time I recalculated, it happened. I went, right, record. Here we go. Blah, blah, blah. And it's still working. Still working. And I actually cut out a minute of me doing everything that worked. So, fake news. Power BI updates. They've got org apps now. So rather than, as well as, what's the other one's called? Workspace apps. So org apps, basically new way of sharing your reports in a package.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, good. They're just a bit cleaner. You can have a cover page, like a little index page. You can change the colors. There's a few other nice little features about it. Nothing major. But
it's really nice for people that aren't necessarily Power BI all the time, and they want to have a collection of, rather than have to know which workspace is it in or which teams, just have a one place where you can you've got all of them, and then you can write commentary, and I really like that.
Yeah. And it's that sort of thing of having multiple. It's easier to have sort of or distinct apps from all your files in a folder. Isn't that something that would be pretty cool in OneDrive for Excel files? You just had like, your 3 Excel files to do with this, your 4 Excel files to do with that, and you could just package them up into a app that the business can use and interact with and stuff like that. It'd be quite cool. But
you can have, I do that with my Excel in the org apps, or even the other app, is I put the link in there to Excel documents so they can be accessed in PowerBI app.
The issue with that is, because I do the same thing, do you have to also grant permission to the Excel file?
Yeah.
Which caught me out the first few times. So just putting the Excel link in the app doesn't grant the end user access unless you do it. So it's a bit, but no, it works well sometimes. It's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool. And do you know what day it is tomorrow? August the 29th. Okay, no prizes. So I'll give you the date, August the 29th, 2019, and it's Excel related.
Is this when XLOOKUP was?
Dynamic arrays release.
Mark Proctor, gold star. It's XLOOKUP day. Come on, everybody.
You look so chuffed with yourself, Mark.
I didn't know.
Really?
There we go. I'll take it.
I like the way that you dropped in the number of characters in a cell to the to the item.
That might be wrong. I think it's something like that.
Yeah. What's the 256 character limit? That's for file paths or something. There's something to do with 256.
There's I think you can have, if you've got a hyperlink function, that's 256 characters. There's 256. Well, it's 255 arguments in a function, because I think the function name counts as one of the 256 items. So they've got 255 arguments in a function.
You ask about how Sue makes friends, Mark.
Mark doesn't
say those kind of things. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
We do actually. We were laughing on Saturday because I was running with a couple of the guys, and one of the guys works for Ernest Young. There's a consultant, so obviously we went into Excel and data and things like that.
Obviously, as you do on an ultra.
As you do. Well, got plenty of time to talk. 5 hours. So it ended up. We've decided we're going to Athens next year. So any of the runners that follow us, Athens, November.
Well, the person you met on the run, you're now going to Athens with.
Yeah.
This is after the bear. You're staying with the bear people.
No, there's a couple of us. We were sort of running around. There was 3 of us, and we were talking about different events that we'd done over the year. And I said, "Oh, I really fancy Athens," because hoping to the marathon. And James went, "Oh, I really fancy it. I was looking it up the other day." And then Aaron went, "I've been. I'll go again." So by the end of that round, we were right. Okay, Athens 2026 November.
So, are you familiar with the phrase "stranger danger"?
No, stranger fun.
When somebody just comes along and pulls up to you in their car and goes, "Do you want to come to Athens with me?" The answer is no, Sue.
They would be in a car and they would pull up. As a runner, they were running around for hours. We're going to go to Athens.
Wow.
Fair enough, I say.
With Mark and Ronnie listening, there are runners on Strava. So there's quite a few runners. So Athens, November 2026. Marathon. Plenty of time to train. Mark, Giles?
No, I'm all right.
No. I'd better finish off my comment on XLOOKUP Day. The only reason it's that date is because that's the date that Joe McDade announced XLOOKUP on the Excel blog. And I, as a complete nerd, again, no friends, I happened to put that date in my calendar on a repeat, and it popped up today. So,
but you forget this right, Wyn. So
you've got friends.
This was not that question, although we should follow that up.
3 friends.
So XLOOKUP. So you put a comment in the user voice saying that there should be an easier function than VLOOKUP, that then got lots of votes and turned into XLOOKUP.
Sorry, Mark. We're just not kids. I was not listening at all.
We were trying to create a heart shape with our hands, and you were having a very serious conversation.
I can't do that. Oh yeah,
Ah!
you can do it. Why can't I do it?
This is what people come to listen and watch.
Oh, Giles nailed it. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark.
See what I'm practicing this week. Sorry, Mark. What were you saying?
Anyway,
Sorry.
So, am I right in thinking that Wyn, you put something on the user group, so the Excel voice at the time, saying there should be an easier lookup function, and then that got lots of votes, and then XLOOKUP came out. So ultimately, you are claiming that you are the the ideator of XLOOKUP.
Yes, I outrageously claim that with having put no effort in whatsoever, that I am the sort of father of XLOOKUP. But like an absent father, I just wandered off after planting the idea.
You provide
everybody else do the work. Like, So
can I get this right? So you were the ideator of the function. You then put the date in your calendar.
Yeah.
Are you hoping for International Wyn Hopkins Day? Is that where this is leading?
I'm hoping for commission, to be honest.
Okay.
Just one day. One day. No, Joe McDade and the team there at the Excel team obviously deserve for the entire. I think they're going to build this function anyway, but I just nagged for a couple of years on LinkedIn and various other platforms because I was just fed up of teaching. Well, I didn't want to teach VLOOKUP anymore in training courses, so I used to teach index match, and people's eyes used to glaze over. It's like, I just can't get it. Which order do I do stuff in? So then I came up with a little workaround hack, which is my little Excel shortcut. So I use autocorrect to pre-populate an index match whenever I typed I in a cell. We would then use autocorrect and write an equals index match with placeholders. So people could just, with double click, step 1, double click here, step 2, double click here, step 3, double click here. So index match, right? So what were you looking up? What column do you want to return? That used to work brilliantly. And I thought, why the hell do I have to do this? Why can't we just have a lookup formula that does that, like is a pre-built index match? And that's what I nagged them to do. And I said, oh, can we call it get match? Because that would be a good name. So I didn't even come up with a name, so I can't even claim that. But
there's a good
came out of it. It's good.
So most of the competitors who use lambdas in the championships, they've now, one of the most common lambdas is a 2D lookup. So it just takes it to another level where you just go range, row, column, number or reference, and it'll just do the 2D. So it saves you having to do like a nested XLOOKUP and an XLOOKUP to do a 2D one. Nice little things like that are quite useful actually.
Yeah. So pre Lambda days, I still do actually use lots of keyboard like letter shortcuts for like DDD builds me a duplicates count of duplicates. It just auto corrects and writes the formula for me. So I love those sorts of things. Use them all the
have
time.
Any of you seen or got one of? So I'm going to get my hardware is going to be upgraded. That's not weird. That I mean, like my keyboard and my mouse before Vegas. I want to get a mouse. You see the proper gaming ones where they've got like 10 buttons on the side that you can assign. I want that, and I want to assign like a generate 2D lookup button. Have you got one?
Well, I just forget what each button does. Oh, Sue, lovely. Fwends. We got matching mice.
Mine's Amazon Basic.
Oh my God, Mark!
Mark's has got a tail.
I realise we're not on the hardware like question of the week discussion, but equally, one of my points was everything wired. I'm fed up with like Bluetooth stuff.
You Neanderthal. What's wrong with you?
The amount of like Bluetooth keyboards and mice I've had, and they just after all they just stop working. Like, I've had enough. Just give me a wire, make it work. Anyway.
Yeah, this one's quite good because you just plug it in. It gives you a little warning. You just plug it in. And it doesn't need charging very much. But Brian Julius has got a Stream Deck. Is that what you're referring to?
Stream Deck.
A bit like that, yeah. So that, of course he does. I need to watch that video of his as well.
Oh, yeah.
But Giles, why do you even need a mouse? Because aren't you meant to be like fully keyboard? Isn't that
keyboard shortcut?
Oh yeah, so 90% of the time I am keyboard, but I think if I had 10 buttons on the side of my mouse that I could assign to special, like I've got different macros, button 1 does all the stuff. That's what I'm thinking.
I started listening to the sort of YouTube live stream that you were on this morning, and one of the competitors said they assigned like the F9 key to auto write an XLOOKUP formula. Even though that was possible. So there we go.
Yeah. But I can't compete with these people like Dim in intelligence. So I feel like I have to go down the tech route. It's my only
Because you
chance.
can't beat them at speed either, can you? So you can't beat them in intelligence or speed. So you try and beat him with just hardware.
I can see Giles with like robot metal hands across the top, just so his fingers will move quicker and stuff like this.
But can you beat him at running? Because he's a runner as well.
He's doing an Ironman this year. So as it stands right now, I'm going to guess the answer is probably no.
Can you beat him at anything? Are you taller than him?
We met recently, actually. That was why I was asleep in part of your dynamic arrays talk, Mark. Because
are you taller? Are you younger? I mean, there must be something.
I think I'm older.
Got more tattoos.
I've got more tattoos. More tattoos and more
There we
photos.
go.
Neither of which I think he's worried about.
That's not the point. That's not the point.
What about the Guinness, though? Can you drink more Guinness? Because he's Irish.
He doesn't drink. So I definitely beat him on that. That would be on my
I don't know. I think that's quite a good selling point.
Explains why his brain's so sharp then, basically.
Yes.
And why mine is not so much in my 40s.
Right, so we are going to not have a question of the week.
We're saving it.
We're saving it. We're going to do a question of the week special next week. All right, so I reckon that's our plan. So I'm away for a couple of weeks as well then.
We got Vienna.
In Vienna.
What are you doing in Vienna?
Oh, never you mind, Giles. Never you mind.
We're going to there's a fabric conference, I think.
Oh, Mark, spoiler.
Yeah, but we're going out, aren't we, Wyn? We're going out.
We're going to go out. We're going to a concert. Yeah.
We're going to a concert.
Are you? Who are you going to see?
They mentioned it was, Giles, you don't listen. It was some classical concert in the cathedral or church or something.
Oh,
yeah.
Well done.
I failed to soak up quite a lot of information that passes my way.
It's good. It means that you don't retain it, which means that you don't need to know how many characters you can have in a cell. You just go, not important. Me, I've not retained this knowledge. Sue or Wyn asked me about concerts in Vienna. I must be able to respond. But you like, nah. It's not.
I just go equals Copilot. Tell me how many characters you can have in a formula. It's easy.
Easy.
Life is simple.
Did you see next spring, or I can't remember when it is, Alan is doing Amsterdam.
Yes. London meetup group.
Yeah.
Ah.
The London Excel meetup group in Amsterdam.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Alan Murray, with Melissa de Court.
Okay, cool.
I'm up for that. Are you going to try and go, Sue?
I am, definitely.
Okay. I think I'm going to try and commit to that.
Okay.
But there's no try. I should just commit to that.
Just commit to it. I think I'm into Mishara the week before. No, so we can meet in Amsterdam.
Okay. Awesome.
Oh, that would be nice.
Is he schedule filling up already for 2026, Sue?
Yeah, it is. It's crazy 2026, especially if I get into Boston.
So for those of you still listening, thank you. We go on to LinkedIn. Next week we will. I've got to concentrate. Next week we will be doing a what's your favorite hardware or least favorite hardware. So there could be everything from laptops to computers to mice to coffee machines. All right. So jump on the chat in LinkedIn under Unpivot and chuck in what you think. Quite a few people already have. What's your favorite kit? And we'll have a chat about that next week. We might do a brief special.
We've got.
And we're at 8.
I'm launching TikTok next week, by the way. It's taken a while.
Oh, your own platform?
Yeah, whole thing. Just humble MVP. Just FYI.
Excellent.
Just any remaining credibility I have. But
I'm looking
so got that.
forward
Is
to
that
this.
before Wednesday next week?
we will start posting something before Wednesday next week. Yeah. Are we filming next week? Filming.
Wednesday.
Is that what we're
I
doing?
think
Yeah.
we're doing Wednesday, aren't we?
Are we? Oh,
Are we? No, Thursday. It's Thursday next week. Thursday
12:30.
next week.
Is it 12:30?
Just a little bit later.
Well, we really have lost
Admin,
all of our
folks,
listeners now.
admin. We're still recording live. All right, folks, get on with your days. Go do some jogging and some running, and
We're great at this
equals
podcasting
Copilot.
thing.
Brilliant.
We're so good at this. Honestly, just
Is there an awards ceremony sometime? Is there a Brit Awards for?
Can we make one up?
Somebody nominate us. Come on.
Yeah, that would
All
be nice. I'd like that.
Thank you, everybody.
All
Lovely to
right.
chat.
Bye.
See you all later.